Hello. Just give it another few minutes to see if anyone else is joining in, and if you want to say hi and let me know who is here before we get started. What I've got up here is just to read me first. That comes with it. With the route, just there's a word from Brendan himself, so I said I'd bring that up too, so that you guys could get it. If I'm not just talking to myself, but we'll see how many people show up. And I appreciate y'all not joining. Let me know if the mic volume's enough. I can turn it up by 1, but I do have background noise in the house, so we do have that to deal with. And not the best lighting, but it's more for the game than. Hey, Blackwater. How are you doing? Say we'll give it till about 5 past. And we start. Yeah, I'm good, thanks. I'll just put a post up in the group as well. That I'm live. Give you a few moments for people to come in if they are coming. Have you trained him at all, Blackwater? Or do you have the Irish route, or what was your knowledge on it, I suppose, before I started posting? Yeah. Did you get the route? Did you know about it? It's also just to train some ambient noise through the speakers. Almost there. Right, it's 5 past. I suppose we'll get going. See if people join in. Oh, I actually got it figured. That was the first thing that popped into my head. I was like, oh, maybe it's you. I wouldn't know because it wasn't some stupid name like Steam. Basically, anyway, this is like the readme that Brendan gives when you first load it in. It's talking about the old route, what's involved. So 165, which is actually it's like 166 and a half or whatnot. Game volume's loud. Cool. That's nuked. And I can put my mic up by 1. Anyway, as I was saying, thank you for that. It's 166 and a quarter or a half, I think, to Cork. Single line branch Limerick from Limerick Junction, 50 mile Ballybrophy, Roscrea, Nina branches in it, and the 60 miles of Mallow and Tralee. Now, this version, it says the final 22 miles between Clarny and Tralee are not, don't have scenery, but that will be fixed. That has been fixed in a later update, but this isn't the update for the. This isn't the readme from the update. And he did make the track standard gauge. So this passage is just some information about the train services, with only one direct daily service between Dunblin and Limerick. I'm not too sure if it's still currently like this, but this was 2015, I believe, that this was written in. That's more about the branch lines, train services. These installation instructions are wrong. obviously, because UKTS was still a thing then. And sorry, not distracted there. Yeah, UKTS doesn't exist anymore, so like half of these things aren't reachable. So there is a missing texture or two. And some bridges will be missing, which isn't the biggest thing in the world. This is just about installing and requirements. Isle of Wight, I think, is one. Yeah, the foliage is from Isle of Wight. And just a bit about here about the trains that are included. Thanking people for all the assistance and who gave help and assets and whatnot. He built a model of the nave, and he put that in the game as well. And then this is just him saying, here, down here, the route represents almost 9 years of on and off work. He started in 2007, a month after Railsim actually came out. He doesn't exclude coming back to it in the future, but for now he'll finish scenery for Clarny to Tralee. But as we've learned from recent years, after he's been saying this, that Brendan has actually made Dublin to Rosslare route, which I will do a scenario next time for Dublin to Rosslare for that stream, showing off that route. And he's currently making Dublin to Belfast. He's gotten as far as Drogheda with that, but he just put that on a Facebook post, and it's hard to find. Sebastian would probably know where that post is. And he just at the end signs it off and says, I hope you'll enjoy the Irish Railway experience. So, that's the readme. Now we shall switch over to our game. The part everyone is here for. Now, it is a fantastic route, lads. And I picked this one because... Where can I get the Dublin to Rosslare route? I will show that off in a minute, Salt, and I'll link in here in a minute. Because I want to do the scenario first, then show everyone where to get it. But if you can search Irish Train Sim, and there's a Reddit post which has the links to all of these. So we've got Dublin to Limerick, Cork and Tralee here. And then we've got, under that, is Dublin to Rosslare Europort. There's some scenarios there which I've gotten off a friend. So, like, they're not all scenarios that are included in the base, but all these ones, the ones with times in front of them, they are included. And then there's my one, which is the Times Arrow, using a Class 156 from Strathclyde Transport in Scotland. Really the only kind of red or even orange and black DMU with a Cummins engine, so it is close enough. Anyway, as I said again, I will show you guys where to get this, and I just want to raise awareness about the route, because Brendan has put fantastic work into both routes, and he's still doing more with Dublin to Belfast whenever that's going to get released. It's just harder to find these things now because UK Train Sim doesn't exist anymore, which is where most of these were held. And yeah, I picked the Times Arrow because it's just a good way to do non-stop and get through everything, and I was on that Railtour personally, so it was a good choice. Although it is a Sunday service, so we won't pass as many trains, but we're here for the route and the work, and you will be able to see the trains anyway in Houston when we start. Now there's one or two movements I did add in while we're waiting at Houston, just to pass away the time and give me talking time. ITS, interesting, is Dublin Cork route able to be downloaded from somewhere? Yes it is, and I will show that off in a while after the scenario. I'll link it here, and I'll give the link into. It's a link to a Reddit post which has both routes downloadable on it. Just Train Sim likes to take a while to load routes with a lot in it, and this one certainly has a lot in it. So if you have any other questions, feel free. Just know I will post the link in a bit. I'll get it there. I might as well post it now so everyone can see it. Yes. So the Dublin to Belfast route, I've only seen one picture from it and one comment that he is working on it still. So there is no real public information out about it. I did contact Brendan to try and talk with him before I did this, but he hasn't replied to me. So I can't give you any update as I don't have any updates as of now, but it will come eventually. So, afternoon driver, please set up your train from cold and complete your brake tests. We will hopefully run non-stop today. Please note, due to limitations of the map and simulator, some signals will be at red. Please just tab past them whenever you see them. Tabbing is signal past that danger acknowledgement or a request for permission. It's the tab key. And the last bit was just describing that they are in Portlaoise, the Reds, and south of Charleville. You get one at Mallow and you get two at Mallow, I think, and there's one in Cork Tunnel. So we've got our 156601, which is trying to act as 2601, which was the lead car that day. We've got the 1200 here, and these two 6-piece ICRs were in the platforms on that day, as well as there was two ICRs in 6. We've got an ICR in the sidings, an ICR in that sidings, and the standby loco at Houston, which is here. I should press T and let the passengers get on. So I arrived around 5 to 12 o'clock, so I just gave some 20 minutes here just to see some movements and answer questions. So master key on, into neutral, cancel our AWS. Now this route doesn't have AWS or cause, so we're not going to be getting warnings about signals, but I know where the Reds are anyway, and it's a straight through train, so we're not getting blocked by anything. Turn off for DRA as we have an amber, and start our engines. If you guys need to hear the game a little bit more, or me, or whatever, just let me know. And we're going to turn on our high idle to get our brake pressure up. How's everyone doing today? We all having a good day? Right, lights, destination light, marker lights, tail lights off, and headlights on. Instrument light also on. And this is an old model, so it doesn't have GSMR, but it has NRN, so we'll just put in the signal number, which is 189. Open the window. Get a bit of noise in. So the shed was closed on the day of the tour, but I just have one train going in there for something to look at. And we can watch the 12 o'clock leave as well. but it is like almost as good as it could be. A representation of Houston. Maybe it's changed a little bit since he started in '07 and hasn't updated it, but it pretty much looks like Houston, you know what I mean? You've got the platforms. You've got the shed, which is actually a photo scan of the real shed, I believe. Yeah. You got the wash, and you have your sidings. So we'll get ready to watch the 1200, Steve. Where possible, I have used numbers of stock that was actually around. So this Mark IV set is correct with 229. And the ICRs, the numbers don't work. And neither, like, the 071s aren't even finished yet. There's no logos or numbering on them, so it's not fully complete, but like it's much better than not having it at all, if you know what I mean. Oh, that just glitched. Crazy. I hadn't seen that before. Because I've never watched it leave from that angle. But I fully made the scenario myself. This does not come with the route, but I will be happy to post it online. And if you don't have the Armstrong Powerhouse 156, I will swap it for the default 2800 that comes with the pack. I probably could have started this about 10 past 12, but I wanted to show the 1200 leaving, so I started it early and have time to talk, as I said. Probably going to repeat myself a lot today because I'm not like a professional streamer or anything, but I do have a passion, and this game is a good passion of mine, and that this route is in it and the scenarios I can create. It really has been fantastic. I'll fly up to the gullet. Up to the famous spot on the bridge, which is actually like down here, I think, but when I'm making scenarios, I will probably replace little bits like the logo with maybe a class 66, just because I'm a bit of an audiophile with sound, and listening to the bass sounds for 2.5 hours does get to me. But like, the stock looks fantastic. It really does look great, like, for someone who's done free work on this for over 2007, nearly 17 years now he's been making these, and he's still doing it for free. So I think it's right that someone should at least campaign for him and show off the work, you know what I mean? Because now, as soon as I started posting about it, everyone started asking, what is this, where can I get this? So, you know, I was right in thinking that people didn't know about it. So that's all I want to do, is create scenarios, raise awareness, and get people playing it, and you know, enjoy it too, because I enjoy it. And obviously people have been clamouring for this, and DTG are never going to make an Irish route, especially not for Train Sim World either. So as I said, the old silver and black 071 model is complete, with numbering and everything. But this is as far as the work he's got done on the new grey 071 livery. But the model still looks fantastic. All you need is the branding and the numbering to work, and Even the auto balusters look good. And there's the different variants. The ICRs look decent. Not much wrong with them. When you connect the ICRs, it even has the hood come up, which I know the hoods aren't even on them anymore, but it's a cool feature, you know. It's just, you can see the passion that he put into it and that I'm enjoying, so, you know, share it. Why not? Actually, you can probably turn off our high idle. Yeah, we can. We're at 7. For sure. And we have a inside view as well, which we'll go into later on. For a while, get some trash. How's the game for you guys? Can you like hear it okay? I'll blast the horn there. If you need that turned up or anything, don't hesitate to ask. I can do it very quickly. I also reached out to the driver of the service to ask how he gonna drive it on the way down, so I'll try and keep his best to what he said was the way he drove it. With this scenario, you can't go too fast, because if you make it to Cork before 1450, the 1450 to Tralee is in platform 5, and you have the 1525 in platform 4 Cork to Houston, so you will get blocked and you won't be able to do it non-stop like we did it on the day. So just keep that in mind to watch your time after Mallow. You don't want to get in blocked in the tunnel, and obviously then not have a non-stop run. I think if we're right, it was 12 hours, or not 12 hours, it was 2 hours 55 minutes thereabouts. Arriving into Cork at 15-ish. We arrived into Cove, sorry, not Cork. You can tell I'm not professional. So, any questions as of yet now? Jazz, the bingo in the background. Unfortunately, I couldn't avoid that. But you know, what's a bit of ambient sound? I do like the Armstrong Powerhouse 156 though. It is a nice looking train. I know the doors are in the wrong place, but we make do with what we can. We have the expressway buses. There's also something of funny I sound, which I'll show you there after this. Train goes into the shed, which didn't happen on the day, but I just wanted to add something, and you know, while we were waiting for 12:20 departure, probably should have brought up the briefing as well. Get your train ready to depart for Cove. We'll be non-stop today. This train has been sitting here on platform 1 since last night, so you will be starting from Cold. Departure time is 12:20, and the maximum speed for this one is 70 miles per hour. Try to keep the ETA around 15:22, as both platforms in Cork will be blocked until 14:50. And again, in the scenario creator, there is single cars, the mid cars, and the N cars, but there's no B2 cars because obviously they only came into service the end of this year. So I've just made a regular 4-piece up, and you have your 3-piece. And he's made 5 cars and 6 cars, the Premier, not the Premier sets, they're high capacity sets. So this didn't happen on the day. I just added it in for entertainment value on the game, just to show off stuff moving when we were stationary. My chair kind of sinks, so if I go below the screen, that's why it's not the best chair. Took me about 8-9 days in total to make the scenario. Just getting home from work, baiting into it, testing it. But it's been fun. Like it's a learning experience how the scenario creator works in this. And the sounds, like the ICR sounds, are close enough as well. Deceleration's a bit wonk on them, but then again, I don't know exactly how they would react if you slammed them into notch 5 instantly. They might jolt like that. I was just kind of messing around up here the other day and I saw it's up here somewhere. Yeah, it's up here, up above the gullet. This is the sign. I've never seen this sign in Train Sim. It might be in other maps, but here to the left and there and everywhere else is straight on. Needs a monster. All that talking. Like, he's even gone in and put in, like, Dublin buses. Couldn't tell you. Oh, it's a GT. I could tell you actually what it is. I didn't know if that was going to be there or not. I'm sure it's just, they're all GT56 probably, yeah. You've church spires, buildings, like... This, as I said, was a passion project for him for the last 17 years. The detail is fantastic. The way trains choose where to stop is AI trains always stop at the end of the platform, whatever platform marker you put, and the same for siding markers. They'll just go to the end of that. So it's been interesting in that way too, like figuring out how it all works and what AI trains do when you path them. And if you make a mistake in pathing them, you can get stuff like when I was testing, I had this train coming up here and then coming down here, and it was like blocking the line from the next train I was going to leave, and it ended up just going backwards and forwards because I couldn't clear the points. And you'll get stuff like that with the AI, and you just have to work around it to fix it. And something I figured out as well is if one train gets stuck somewhere, the next train will go to the signal behind it, and then the rest of the AI trains behind it will start going really slowly. And then by the 5th train, they won't move at all, so one train being stuck can break your whole scenario. Every AI train won't work. So it's just things like that you don't expect to be problems, and then you learn like, oh, that's what I have to do. It was a nice clear sunny day too on the day. Not sure how many of you were on that Railtour, or if I've even talked to you or not on that Railtour. It was a good day, and we did make it non-stop, which was a lot easier to do on a Sunday. But the only train ahead of us is the 1200, and that leaves 20 minutes before us, going at full line speed, and we were at 70 the whole time, obviously, so didn't really have a chance to catch up with it. The only time we could have been caught was going into Cork, which I've brought up about. We could have gotten caught there, but thankfully I've timed it out where you don't. It's following the circular that was handed out on the tour. We got the timings, and then I've used just the timetables that are on Irish Rail that I to book everything else, just arrival, departure times. Of course, I've put stuff in inch core too, so we'll see what surprises we'll see in inch core. And to be honest, there is no easy way to create scenarios. Like, you have to physically go in and place every train and give it every instruction. It does take a long time. It's definitely, if you're not sure about it. Like, I used the guide and I got kind of the basics, but there's so much more to learn about it as well. Yeah, that's okay. So is everyone finished up for Christmas? I'm not, but that is the job I picked. Yeah, yes, the good old seagulls. Time's it now, 35. Yeah, not long left. Probably thinking now I could change it to start at 12. Just you'd still see the train leaving, and maybe you guys wouldn't be waiting as long. But I did need the time, certainly, to just kind of discuss things and whatnot and make sure I could answer questions. Now, Kishog is in this, but you'd have to add a platform marker in yourself, as he didn't do it. Because obviously it didn't open again till last year, so this year, sorry, Kishog opened this year on the new timetable in August. But it's very, like, the building is there, so it's not like you'd have to go in and create your own station. We'll talk more about what's there and what isn't in it as we pass through the stations. And I'll try and get out of the train, take some scenic views as we pass. Go into the passenger view a few times. Anyway, only 3 minutes left, so I gave us generous time anyway to arrive at 15:30, but we should be in Cove well before that. The normal 2800 that comes with the simulator is based on a class 158 on the inside, so very similar cab to this. But you can't use the keyboard controls, so that's why I chose to replace it. For that and the sounds. Suppose I should turn on my saloon lights. Yeah. I've done that too with streams, and it's kind of like you just see how long it is. But I do have it on ultra low latency stream, so it's as close to real life as it should be. I don't, I don't think I'm running my camera in in 60 FPS though, because the light's killing it. It seems a bit grainy, which again I don't have good lighting. Reduce off my brakes down to step 1, but it'll stay at step 3 until the doors close. That's one of the features of the sprinters. You've all the buttons, you've like cab buzzers. Your interlock is up here on a 156, which I believe is more for the guards, because I don't think any of these are driver only. Yeah, there's no door close on the cab face there is up here. You've also got your cab out windows. I guess we could do this from here because we don't have another chance to leave a platform. And we're off. So anyway, as we're going down, I'll take us through what services are what and what we're passing. I might have to look at my screen for a couple of them, but you get a nice bit of trash. The sounds are really good on the Armstrong Powerhouse stuff. I would recommend them. And we're already speeding. Half a mile per hour. Won't mind. I'll be sacked. So this light is an approach control light, so it stays red till you get to roughly around here. And all going well, it should flick over. Yep, it's flicked over now, and I've got the feather to go off the relief line onto down main. And our limit's up to 25. I'm getting feedback. As I said again, you don't really want to push the limits too much. You can kind of take your time a bit, because you can't be too early to Cork anyway. Just gotta worry about the gradients and whatnot. Which there's one coming out of up the gullet. It's a 1 in 84 gradient, so you will lose speed rather quickly. Now, unfortunately, with the simulator itself, you can't really simulate moving traffic. Unless it's at a level crossing. Yeah, Notch 2 won't do a 1 in 84 ITS. It needs to be about Notch 4 on the 1 in 84 gradients. But as I said, I'm not too worried about speed anyway, because we do have to wait until at least a certain time to get to Cork. We're trying to be non-stop, not do a race. If we do a race, we won't be non-stop. We're now in a 1 in 91 gradient, so we're really pushing to come out of Dublin. If I do miss some speed over trying to show you things, it's not really that important. It's just more about showing the route. So here we've Inchicore Works, which is the main works in Ireland, which was it 175 years. We just celebrated this year as well, or last year even. God, time is flying. So you've got various locals, Mark IV sets. There's two bus Aran buses in there for some reason. And on this side you've got the paint shed and the heritage set. We're up to 70 now. There's some 29s over here for work in old commuter livery. The 29s are based off of 166s. We have a dart set over here which is unfunctional. The old 27s and the old dart sets, and there's Maeve and the Cravens. As close to Cravens as I could get, anyway. And we come down towards the 4-track section. As I said at the beginning, I don't have every asset pack that was used, so 1 or 2 bridges are missing. It's just a product of UK Train Simulator not existing anymore. We're lucky this stuff is even archived, because that's where it was held. But we can play it, we can download it, so. Oh god, I think first station is Park West and Cherry Orchard. I meant to double check this and I didn't. Let me pull up a quick timetable there. I'll get the info on the stations, correct? This is the 11:25 Portlaoise to Houston stopper, which is a 7-piece on a Sunday. I think that splits to form other services. Where is this PDF? Not recent, I want files on this device. As you can see, we're in Notch 7 and we still haven't gotten up to 70 coming out of Inchicore. There we go, Dublin Cork Intermediate. Yeah, so that was Park West and Cherry Orchard. Next is Clondalkin on Fonthill, sorry. And then we have Kissogue, which isn't active, and Adamstown, Salins, oh no, not Salins, sorry, Hazelhatch, which I'll get out and recreate a video at Hazelhatch, which appeared at the time on Irish Railways Past and Present. So now we'll notch down between notch 3 and 2, keeping the revs as low as possible, but trying to maintain speed. There is, I believe, the 10:25 from Limerick, direct to Dublin. I'll just double check that. Yeah, that's the 10:25 Limerick to Euston. So those are the first of the 2 trains to pass. The next one we pass, I believe, is the 10:25. Cork to Euston. And that'll be passing us somewhere after Hazelhatch. Around Salins, maybe after Salins. So that's from Knockin on Fonthill. I'll zoom forward a bit just so we can get a better look out the window, as they say. Just getting caught out in a gradient here. Speed's running away from me. That's another thing. Well, sometimes assets you don't have get replaced with a floating milk bottle. So if you see it, it's just an asset you don't have. Not the end of the world. Most of the bridges are here anyway. It's only like one or two that sadly have been lost to time. Oh, that was Kishog. We already passed Clondalkin. This is Adamstown. It's got the base platform. Just scatterbrained. I tries my best. So the day we were there, the day before, on the Saturday part of this tour, these two platforms on the outside, the fast line platforms, were locked off, and we only had access to the middle ones. Which still was, they were still good pictures. So we're rounding the curve here to Hazelhatch soon enough. So we'll try not to overspeed again. You were on the tour the first day, not the second. Yeah. Yeah, there wasn't as many on the tour on the second day. There was a few of us, but not as much. Okay, I was too far away from Hazelhatch there. It's the second curve. I should be going forward. It was a great tour. I enjoyed it thoroughly. It was my second rail tour ever only. I got talking to a few people. It was a great day out. The 2 days. It was a lot of time on the train. Okay, now I should be able to reach Hazelhatch. At some stage. There it is. And I'm gaining speed again. We'll just make a quick brake application. Very hard to multitask. It's not really, but... This is pretty much from a video. I'm not sure who. I should have looked this up, but someone took a video here, and there was someone on platform 2 as well that took another video. Certain driver does like to use the horn a lot when he's on rail tours. We all know who he is. So next we've got a train passing after Sallins. We've got the Galway train passing sometime after Port Arlington. Then we go through the Reds at Port which I tried everything. I couldn't get them to change. I think it's just a problem with the route. I'm in notching up when I shouldn't be. And as you can see, the ETA is around 15:22, which is about perfect where you want it to be. It was a great day out though. When we got down to Cove, actually there was a lot of confusion because at that time it wasn't hourly on Sunday back in April last year, or May even. It was a May tour, wasn't it? And the same thing happened in the Maynooth line as well, where people are just like, oh, this is my service train, I'm going to try and get on this. And at that point I don't think there was a Cove train until 4 or was it 4? So they'd been waiting there probably about 20 minutes. Already when we arrived, and then we were just like, no, this isn't your train, sorry. I remember, yeah, Malahide. I think there was 2 kids got on at Malahide or Dundalk or something, and they let them buy a ticket. I think for like a discounted price or something. But yeah, all at Malahide and like um, Boomsbridge is it, or I'm not too sure the platforms out in or stations out in the main outline. It's way far away from me. But I know they had to stand at each door and we're kind of like, lads, you can't get on this one, sorry. Then again, the general public don't know, you know what I mean? They see a train, it shows up, they get on it. If you went up there with the historic set, the Park Royals and the laminates, and turned up with an 071, people would still try and get on that, just assuming it's a train, you know. That's how the general public are. So what we can do, we can let our speed drop off a bit, and we'll go into the passenger view, and you can get some Cummins engine sounds. I've got this open as well, which like you really get a sound difference if you let that close out. You can go in here and notch up to 7. You got the horn from in here. And you got a nice growl of the engine. And that growl does sound pretty realistic too. How they are, the 26s. Great units. There's someone in particular on the group who keeps complaining about the 26s, and I just laugh every time I see it. Because they are great units, and they're great at what they do, and they've lasted 30 years, so definitely worth value for money. The most you're on them in Cork is, admittedly, there is the Tralee Sunday diagram, which is 2 hours on a 26. Maybe not as great for that, but if you're going 10 minutes to Glanton or Fota or Little Island, like, it has a toilet, it's got loads of space. You know, it's okay. Also, a little advertising for their Class 37. Sneaky. Should be rounding 2 Salins here soon enough. Yeah, it's just around this bend. Another unique bridge. Like, the amount of work is fantastic. Sorry, zoom in a bit so you can see better. I said unique bridge, and then the next bridge was the same bridge. Sometimes you will see this big black, white, and yellow thing, which is Unfortunately, missing textures, but they tend not to be too noticeable. Here's the 1025 Cork Houston. Oh, sorry, long day, stretching. So next up we have Newbridge in a few miles. You have Newbridge, then you have Kildare. After Kildare, you can see the branch off for Waterford, and that's about it as far as Waterford goes. Although I know somebody is currently making the Waterford section. Will he release that or not? I'm not sure. And don't ask me how long that's going to take, because I'm not the person to know that information. As I said, I've had nothing to do with route building or train building. I'm just going to be making scenarios for it and showing them off. And it'll be up to you guys. If you want to download them, I can put them make them available as well. This one I will put up either at the end of the night or in the morning. I'll just make one or two tweaks just to make it a bit more playable for you without the time at the start where I was talking. We've got an enthusiast on the bridge. I'm thinking again. As I said, it's my chair. Just disappearing off the top of the webcam. Off the bottom even. Horsey. Horse pony. Think about another signals time we should be coming up to Newbridge. One thing I will say though, as this is like normally a route that DTG would not make because of its length. They don't like making long routes. They tend to do more ones like the Great Eastern Main Line, which is an hour, or they'll take something like the West Coast Main Line or the East Coast Main Line and split it up into like 4 different parts. You'd basically probably get like I don't know, either to Tralee or not Tralee. You'd probably get like Dublin to Portlaoise. And then that would be it. And then you'd get like Portlaoise to Limerick Junction and Limerick Junction to Cork. That's how DTG tend to make it. It just means you have to make like 4 scenarios. Or is this? It's one longer route, which lets you do straight through, obviously. I don't think you can finish a train simulator scenario while moving. You can start it. The detail on the Armstrong Powerhouse trains too is very good. Specifically, yeah, sorry, I chose the 156s is for the black and orange, and so I could do that and try and pretend it's 2601 the best I can. But you make do. So next up after the 1025 from Cork is we will see the 11 o'clock Galway to Houston, which again is a 6-piece high capacity set. He doesn't have the Premier set. And here's Newbridge. We've got the feather for the bay platform. So the Newbridge to Grand Canal dock trains would go into the bay platform. I think there's one, maybe a day that does one or two. That goes to Newbridge. Maybe one in the morning, one in the evening. But most of them, the Grand Canal dock services go to Hazel Hatch. And turns at Hazel Hatch. Adamstown Bay isn't used. We used it on this tour to turn around. We went on day one on the Saturday. It was Cork to Dublin, pick up at Dublin, back to Adamstown. Was it from Adamstown to Dundalk then before? Yeah, Adamstown up to Dundalk. Had our lunch in Dundalk, then went Dundalk to Killester to Holt back to Grand Canal Grand Canal Dock, because we skipped our Connolly photo stop because of congestion. Then we went from Grand Canal Dock to Maynooth, back to Clonsilla. This is the Curragh, which I think the Curragh was open when he started, but those platforms are long gone and the station's not open. I was saying, then from Maynooth to Clonsilla to M3 Parkway, and we were meant to go M3 Parkway to Connolly via Newcomen Junction, the Newcomen line. But there was platform alterations at Connolly. Some train got put into 7, which blocked us from using the Newcomen line, or just happened to be there when we were coming back, so we went via Glasnevin Junction again, the usual way, through Drumcondra. But all in all, it was still a great tour. And then we had day 2 to do, which was non-stop Cork Cove, which is what we're doing here, this section. And then we had the second part of day 2, which we only stopped at Carraglow and Rushbrook. Well, other way around, Rushbrook then Carraglow, for photo stops there. So Kildare is where I filmed my, I guess, teaser for this. So there is an ICR in here. This is where I originally did the outside the cab view. So you have your green light and your feather, and you've killed our station, which is where the freight runs around. Again, the lights weren't on the front, but that's just an AI bug. Well, it's not a bug, it's... The AI doesn't turn on the lights until the time it's scheduled to depart, so it's just a bit funny that way. Just a weird AI thing and trying some. This game is practically 09, 07, I think 07 Brendan said, yeah. It's 14 years old or something. So upcoming here you will have Cherryville Junction, where the 100 sign is, and that's where the Waterford line darts off to the left via Kilkenny, I want to say. Yeah, it's Kilkenny, yeah. And at Kilkenny the train reverses, as it's on a triangle, so train goes into Kilkenny one way and goes out the other way, which could potentially lead to trains getting turned if they go into Kilkenny and don't go back up the same way towards Dublin. So the bridge here, I know a lot of spotters use this bridge to get pictures. You often see pictures of trains waiting at that signal there we just passed for stuff coming off the Waterford line. Or it's not this bridge, sorry, it's the next one. Or it is that bridge, yeah. Sorry, my bad. Old signal cabin, then you have the Waterford line off to the left, and you can get pictures from that bridge too of trains standing at this signal waiting to join the main line. Usually like your timber train or your liners, they'll normally be held at that signal for mainline trains to pass, passenger trains and whatnot. Because Kildare is the point where they reverse. If you want to see like an 071 local run around, go to Kildare and you'll get that. Because the timber trains come up from Waterford, that line, and they have to reverse to go to Ballina or Westport. I think there's a liner as well. Don't quote me on which one exactly. I think maybe it's the XPO. The XPO liner that goes to Ballina, Ballina as well. I think the DFDS goes to North Wall then from Ballina. Is the DFDS still even going? I don't know, Blackwater, you're a freight person, you'll know. And here's the 11 o'clock 6-piece. Coasting by the sounds of it. That's the IWT is not Walter Ballina. Thank you. Oh, there's more information. And the XPO is Waterford Ballina. Yeah, I knew the XPO was Waterford. Take some more time to listen to the hums. It's a great piece of kit though, the Armstrong Powerhouse trains, because he goes out and actually records proper trains, like, so, with high quality stuff. Obviously, it's a Scottish train, so you have your British Rail tickets. Even though this is Great Yarmouth and Norwich. But, you know, you have different sounds for notch 1, notch 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You just have slightly different vibration. So we'll get a flyby at Monastravan. If you squint enough, you might see a 26. Just casual twins on the platform. DFDS was Waterford Ballina, but that finished in 18. Yeah, I didn't want to say that first. I thought that finished. The DFDS. They all have different anagrams and names, and not anagrams. What's the other one? It came up on a board game I was playing earlier. Now I can't. Acronyms. That's it. All different acronyms and whatnot. Company names. I'm much more of a passenger train oriented person, and like the railway itself more than freight trains. It's just they're not down in Munster anymore, so I have to travel to Kildare or Ballina or Waterford to, you know, it's a long way travelling to see them from south. As you can see, I have my Irish Rail Record Society Munster area hat on. Cattle DC be proud of me for that one rep in the March. I should have got the headboard off and put it up behind me. That would have been funny. I'm gonna text them that actually. That would have been funny too, but oh well. I posted about this actually. We're getting removed from the present and past board. They let me talk about it for like 4 weeks and then they just deleted them without mentioning it to me. I was just like, okay, I won't post about it. So if I think it was just the fact I was talking to watch my YouTube. I believe that's why they removed it, but it is what it is. Not gonna make a big fuss about it. So you've got all the various loops on that one with the 3 different feathers, but I don't know in real life if that's accurate to what that signal looks like or not. I'm not 100% on the route. Yeah, you've 80 through Portlaoise curve. So you've the down loop and the up loop. I believe they went via the up loop on the Railtour's Railtour, the GSR 100, but I bailed at Mallow from that because I just wasn't going back up to Dublin and back down to Cork again. It would have been like 12 o'clock I got home that night. So you have the feather there for the Galway line off to the right, Galway and Westport. And it's only literally around the corner where you can't see anymore, and then that's the extent of that. Maybe someday we'll get those lines, maybe not. As I said, he's working on Dublin to Belfast at the moment, so. I would imagine it would be a shoe-in for the next. Either that or Waterford would be done next. Although there is someone doing Waterford. I just don't know, will that be released? Or if it's just a personal project. Still got 134 miles to go. I think the next train we're going to pass is the 12:25 from Portlaoise. If there's a 12:25 Portlaoise. There might not be one on the timetable, so it might not be. I think there is though. I made this, like, I remember there's about 13 AI trains in it, I think. If it is there, it's a 3-car ICR. I know that much. Wait, actually, we would have passed that already. Yeah, that's a silence. How did I not see myself passing that? I must have been asking you about the looking at your response about the liners and just drove past that. I don't know, I'll find it on stream later. I'm genuinely curious as how we passed the 13:25, 12:25. So next we have Ballybrophy, then we go to Lisduff. After Lisduff then we've got Templemore, Thurles. If I'm as on time as I was at one time, nearly exactly, we'll see the Mark IV, the 12:25 getting into Thurles at around the same time we're passing through. If I'd known back then that I was going to do this before I found the Dublin to Cork route, I would have definitely, on that Railtour, taken more notes on where things kind of passed each other to try and like line it up more correct. But there is some parts of the route as well where, like, if you go through there, it just loses like 3 minutes off your ETA. Not sure what that is about, but it definitely has its moments where you've just gained time for, not lost time, sorry, gained time. You just gained time for apparently no reason. You might go from like 21 to 19 minutes away. I think we were booked through Port Arlington at 13:04. Oh, we haven't gone through Port yet. Why am I saying Ballybofey is next? Whoops. And I believe it's 13:10 we were booked to go through Port, so we can see how close we are on that. So I just get up my timetable here. There it is. Yeah, Port is 13:10.5. That we were booked through there. So the tracks have been actually put through as well to 5'3". Brendan did do that work. We have 2 enthusiasts at this bridge. Well, one, like, definitely who shouldn't be sitting on it. I suppose you don't want to be ringing someone about that. Especially on a railway, Jesus Christ. Apologies. And I'm over speeding. Just bring it down a little bit. So we're coming into Port now. Round the big curve and then it's dead straight. Until after the station. We're about 3 minutes early at the moment. Which will be easy to make back up. Just a bit of slowing down so we don't get blocked. Oh, that's solid. So this is the first of the signals you have to tab through. It stays red, can't get it to change. You just have to press tab on the keyboard and you get permission to pass it. I have no idea why that won't change. I've tried everything. That's the parade with all the rails and stuff, I believe. And then you have this second signal here as well, which is also stuck at red for reasons that we shall just say mechanical failures, and that's guarding the entrance to Laois Train Care Depot. I believe once we pass that red, this changes to green. The one thing that isn't here, which I suppose was left out for game purposes, is the giant wall that kind of blocks you from looking into the depot. That isn't here for whatever reason. Brendan decided not to include it, but there is a giant, it might be this fence, might be simulating it, but there is like a giant wall here in real life, and you just can't see all this. Again, it's actually Laois Train Care Depot photo realistic. We'll go not 7, give us some trash. Does look more red from out here. I want to go off the notch too. And you do have the Irish, the old manual or user work level crossings, or not user work level crossings. The old manned level crossings, the with the square kind of X in the middle. You still have a few of them up and down the line. I think definitely there's 2 outside Charleville, I believe, that are manned. And the next Red we won't see now is until after Charleville. I think it's the signal in Mallow, in the station. Just before the station, sorry, and there's like one random one before that as well, protecting the entrance to Mallow. And those do also just stay red for some reason, even if there's nothing else in the line. The next scenario I will be doing anyway, I said this at the start, but I'm not sure. Some of you might missed it, is I'm probably going to do something for Dublin to Rosslare. I'll show that off. And then I might do a side scenario, just the 10 minutes going from like Conley to Holt or up to Malahide, something like that. So we'll just do the Rosslare portion as well. We can have fun going through Wexford at 5 miles per hour. Yay! But yeah, I want to show off both routes, and as soon as Dublin to Belfast becomes available, I will definitely show that off too. With maybe not as much preamble and talking. But like, this is free. The work that has gone into this for this to be free is fantastic. Brendan could have charged €10, €15, and people would have bought it because, you know, it's needed. We want this in the game. Now, obviously, if he did charge for it, he wouldn't be able to use other people's assets and stuff like that, so... And he probably wouldn't have been able to use, like, the base DTG things, because you're obviously reselling other people's work, but... You know, the best things come from passion projects. And this is absolutely what this is. I'm on a gradient, so I need to be in about notch 5. His background is a modeler, but he just wanted something for the modern generation, which is more my generation. I don't have room for a whole model layout, but I can play this and I can show this off, so doing my bit. There is, I think, the Borden-Amona line is somewhere, but I've no idea where that passes, so I'll probably miss it. I believe it is somewhere outside of Port That could have been it. I honestly don't know. I wish I knew where it was, but if someone had a milepost, I could keep an eye out for that. But the scenario is anywhere in the Dublin to Rosslare line. I've done it just to try out the Rosslare line, and you get stuck behind the dirt after gravestones, and it's just like the real thing. Outstanding realism, getting stuck behind the dirt. Oh, that's a river. Thought I might have found the line, but had a fantastic presentation recently. Um, at the IRS meeting for October, we had a presentation on the Board Namona lines, the kind of final days of it. It was fantastic. I don't think I've ever been on an inner city out of Connolly that wasn't a crawl out of Dublin. Yeah, I've only been on one, um, as of like the last 5 years or so. I was going to Rosslare. It was meant to be 9:35, I think it is 9:30 something, and there was a dart came in, one of the 8600s. Um, it came in on platform 5 and failed in platform 5, so chaos for like 25 minutes. Finally, the Rosslare line showed up, but by the time we got to Rosslare, we made it up. Once you get past out of Dublin, if you're not too badly hit, you can make it up on the Rosslare line. Yep. So mission control has alerted me that I did in fact miss the Borden line, and it was the one I said I probably just passed it. I have Google Maps. Why are you telling me to? Yeah, that's trying to tell me to download the app, even though I have it. So I'm not going to open that. Very nice scenic line though, the Rosslare line. I went down there in autumn, and all the trees were like orange crimson. It was just beautiful. Down after like Ennis Courty or something, I think it was. It was just fantastic line, really beautiful. Ever Gradient as well is actually real, as seeing as I'm on one now. He got the plans from someone in Irish Rail. They told him what the gradients were. So he did his research as well, like, and got help when making this. Another enthusiast on the bridge. It's milepost 64. 100 miles to Cork. Need to notch up again. Gradient's killing the speed. So yeah, I don't know if any of you saw, but that signal said HK 189. About half of them say HK 189. It's just a picture of a signal or something. I'm not sure exactly which signal is HK 189. It's barely climbing. And we're about to drop down the other side of it, so I should notch off anyway. So we've got Ballybrophy here, where the Nina branch is, which is also included in this. You have the whole line down to Limerick. You have the line from Junction to Limerick, and you have the whole Tralee line, and you have Cove and Middleton. Now, the scenery in Killarney, from Killarney to Tralee, and Cork commuter belt to Cove and Middleton, they were only added in the 2017 update. So if you install the first like few parts and don't find it, you need to install the route as well. The very weird scenario where that's only signalled for trains coming off the branch and not, there's no way to signal a train going into the branch. I believe that was only done as part of the remodelling, or not remodelling, but when they changed the layout in the last 10 years or so. I'm not exactly sure on that. I believe before you could get from the main line into the bay platforms. Very strange decision. I guess you don't really need it though with the way that like all the maintenance is done in Limerick now for the 28s except like heavy maintenance, so I don't see a reason why something would ever have to go in from Inchicore that way. I wouldn't see a train like entering service on the Ballybrophy side. So then again, maybe it just doesn't need to be. If someone else knows the answer, I'd love to hear it. Oops. Moved on not too fast. Whiplash. Can't see any passenger service leaving the branch. Yeah, neither can I. Just a rail tour probably. Do a rail tour up the branch and then doubt they'll ever run Dublin to Limerick through Nina again. No, I don't think they ever will. It just makes way too much sense to just have the junction connection. I think the next train we're passing is the 10:05 from Tralee or the 11:05 from Tralee, something like that. Where am I? I'm down here. Oh no, we got the 12:25 Limerick to Houston first. No wait, the Tralee train I don't see until Limerick Junction. Yeah, so 12:25 Limerick. Then next is the Mark 4, another Mark 4 set. Then the Tralee set. This is a 6-piece. So there he has an English whistle board, but other places in the route he does have the Irish whistle board. So I'm not sure what that's about. Technically, it's 3 trains for Nina because the first one out of Limerick in the morning splits, with half of it continuing on to Ballybrophy. And well, it's 2 in one direction and 3 in another direction, I think. You've one splits and goes to Limerick, and the other half goes to Ballybrophy, and then it does a Ballybrophy to Limerick in the morning, and then in the night time you just have one each way. Some autos, huh? Liz stuff. Yeah, I was on the Limerick to Waterford train during the summer, Limerick Junction to Waterford. It had a decent loading by the time I got into Waterford, but then again, you're talking about August. Um, so yeah, and it was very sunny. It was a good August, so you had people going to Waterford for the day. When we got on, I think it was Care, it really got busy. We got the one in the morning on the way down. See, there's an Irish whistle board. So interesting that the last one was an English one. It's interesting. But yeah, I know. If they invested more money into those services, people would use it. It's been proven time and time again, like build trains and they will come. You saw what happened with Middleton. They built Middleton and it's a busy service now. It's now hourly on Sundays. It's hourly. There's 2 trains a day now, or 2 trains per hour. I'm not sure if it's outside of the peak, but definitely in the peak. And that was only when it started 1 train an hour all day. And I think when Dart Plus finally gets finished, you're going to have a big boom in traffic in around the Connolly and Dublin area. Even like I've used the Grand Canal Dock service from not Portlaoise, Hazelhatch, and it's full in the evening time. People going home to like Clondalkin and Kishog. If you build train services that are frequent, reliable, people will come to them and use them. And you don't have all the congestion then of people crossing Dublin via Lewis, walking or bus. They're not rushing, they're not getting taxis. It's a win-win for everyone, you know. The problem with the Nina branch is if you miss the for 1 train in the morning, like, then you have to make alternative adjustments. When you know train service is coming every 45 minutes, be it an hour or whatever, which I know can't be done with Nina because it's a one-way junction, but it could be done at least every 2 hours, or I'm not sure how long it does actually take to traverse it, but people will show up and use it. If they know you miss one, you can just get the next one. With only 1 train in the morning, you're not going to take that chance of missing it when you can drive or, you know, whatever. I'll move my cursor. I'm sorry. That's probably in people's way. Not sure if people get annoyed by that, but I should be coming down by Temple Moor soon enough. I believe it's around this corner. But then again, I could be wrong. I haven't noticed exactly where it is. Even though I've only done this scenario like 9 times. Yeah, there it is. Again, I think it's a photo scan of actual Templemore Station. So, quite realistic. Yeah, the battery darts will free up nearly all the time. Maybe not all of them, but like certainly it's going to spell the end of the 26s eventually once the 29s get spread out around the country. Then you'll have every train in Cork being 4 cars instead of 2 cars. I don't think would the platforms in the Nina branch be even long enough? The Wanderer now could tell me that exactly, but I know the Waterford branch is limited to 3 cars due to platform lengths. I don't know what the platform lengths. Wait, no, they can take a 4 car 28, so yeah, they'd probably take a 4 car 29. But then again, like they'll have to do trials and clear the loading gauge for the 29s down south everywhere. I just don't know, will the 26s and the 28s go at the same time? Or if there's enough 29s to release them. You would need, what, 18 29s would release both the 26s and the 28s. Yeah, more than likely, I think as well it would only be the 26s. They, unfortunately, are next on the block. As great units they have been for 30 years. Their time has to come eventually. It'll be interesting to see what they do with the 29s. It'll be interesting about Downpatrick. I don't know if they'll even be able to take one. I'm pretty sure the 26s are banned from NIR railways. so they'll have to get it up there by truck. Oh no, Downpatrick's not connected. Anyway, sorry, I'm thinking of Whitehead. My bad. My mistake. Either maybe Downpatrick or maybe, well, the ITG, and just keep it at Inchcore, but I don't see the RSPI taking one. They have enough in our hands with 134, which even still needs to come back into service. Patrick should be connected, but with UTA, yeah, we just had all the like beaching reports in England and the same over here and whatnot. Lost a lot of lines that should have been still connected. You'd have stuff like Waterford to Fermoy and, or sorry, Cork, Mallow to from the Mallow to Waterford. Yeah, there's always hope in the future. If the railway gets enough investment and if people use it. We're getting Foynes line reopening, so. And I know that's a freight line, but the progress is looking good, you know. There's talks about Navan being opened from M3 Parkway, I believe. M3 Parkway up to Navan, or else it's definitely not a draw the line anyway. So we have a big curve at Thurles and we have our 70 on the other side of the Thurles. Again, HK 189, that's on a lot of the signals. So you have a red in the background there behind the green. That red is protecting the main line from the siding. And you have Thurles Station pretty accurately represented. Like that building is that building behind the fence, and you have an 071. Various sidings and whatnot. Now we're slightly ahead, so there should be about a minute here on Mark 4 slowing down for a stop. It's a very tight curve, this is. You can see why it's down to 70. It'll be interesting to see that. Back to the conversation about 29th. Will they replace some ICR links? Will the 29s get thrown onto the Kerry Road? Which will be a massive downgrade, but it's something you could see them doing. It's not like Irish Rail have replaced Cravens with 28s on the Rosslare line before, or anything crazy like that. Why would they ever do that? Sorry, 27s first, then 28s. I was like the Rosslare line. I think it was about 3 hours. I was on it. Yeah, that's fine in an ICR. Could have a carriage with, you know, food and whatnot. They don't. But definitely not in 27s or 28s. Those that was crazy at times. But they were rushing to take out the old coaching stock that wasn't like cared about really. Probably should have kept some Mark 3 sets if they gave them a proper refurb, but you know, that's just speculation. See you later, Joy. Oh, they're close to the line. 29 is probably go to Cork. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking is Cork. I believe every platform can take 4 cars, so. To be honest, Cove would probably take an 8 car if they were doing like specials for the ferries that they used to do. Before there used to be summer specials for the cruise ships that only stopped in Cork and Cove. Now they don't do them anymore because there's like a load of half-hourly services. But I remember them; they were fun to go on to when they were around. The only other time I've gone through those stations fast is on this. If they open Athenry, Claremore, South Wexford, they might throw 29 on those. 29s have been on the South Wexford line. I seen that the other day. And if they do Athenry to Claremorris, they might put the 28s up there. And maybe instead of being Limerick to Galway, it'll be Limerick to Claremorris or something like that. And then just have it connect with Galway services going up to Galway. That's what I think they would do. Unless they just have like an Athenry to Westport service or Athenry to Claremorris shuttle maybe. But I definitely think that's more suited as 28s. And then you might get 29s doing the Limerick Junction run maybe. Just because you could always use a 4 car in that. It's just all speculation anyway. But definitely Cork, I would 100% agree on Cork. They definitely will send them down. And I'm going to lose my 26s. Yeah, for sure Galway to Westports would be ICR. There's no way you do the 28 on that. There probably wouldn't be any more like Westport to Athlone services then, or you'd have the Galway to Athlone. Oh, is there Galway to Athlone? I think there is. Or is it Galway to Athenry? Commuter services. Because the 28 sometimes when they go up to Galway, they'll do like an Athenry to Galway or Galway to Athenry service. Yeah, it's kind of like when people show up for a Tralee service on Sunday and they're getting 26s instead of the ICR that's normally there during the week. It's kind of like, well, I for one personally love it, but I'm also a person who plays train games. Sorry, I'm dipping behind the thing. This chair is awful. It's also my bad posture. Halfway done, anyway. Well, more than halfway done, actually. We're halfway to Cork. I don't need to be match 5. As you can probably tell by now, it does play out in real time, the route. Yeah, I need to go more. So, yeah, it's not shortened at all. It's, you're driving. Nope, other way. And now my chair is sinking. I'll try and keep up like this so I can keep myself on camera. Now I'm doing that. Yeah, it is. It's real time. Like, it's not shortened or anything. You literally are driving the full 164 miles. And when you're doing it at 70, it takes a bit longer. And I've dropped a minute off my estimated time. I think after Turles is one of those random places where it'll just give you, like, you'll gain a minute. Hundred miles. 66 to Cork. We should see coming up soon enough the spur off to Limerick, the triangle. Then again, if I had done my research and known which milepost that was at, I could be more exact, but such is life. I could be 10 miles away from Limerick Junction, I don't know. So, the last update that was done for this route before he started in Dublin Rosslare was he added in platform 4 at the junction. Now, it's correct to install this, or it's important to install it in the correct manner, because if you install that first and then install the main route, you will end up with broken lines and like half a platform at Limerick Junction. So just keep that in mind, you have to install everything in order. Start with the first 5 parts, install the missing textures, do the 2017 update, do the missing textures, and then do the 2020 update, I believe, or 2022 update. It's one of the 2020s. Otherwise you'll end up breaking tracks and stuff. But it's all in the readmes. Anyway, it's just important you read the readmes. And if I need to post a link again to any newcomers, just let me know. I can probably pin that comment actually. Would that work? Can I pin it? Yes, I can. Okay, I've pinned the link for people. That works way better. Now we've got our 90 and our 60 for the junction. I'm not sure if it's only 25 through the old line, and if it's now 60 through the new platform 4 line. But I know crossing over is definitely 25. Again, me being a plick and not doing any research. Just winging it. I do know some stuff, but Rosslare is more where I'll be lost in Rosslare. Oh yeah, I should be braking. 60, not 70. Well, some places too, he's like doubled up on signs. Okay, we've got an amber here, that might be another red. Or it might be a signal which will swap to green. I think this one swaps to green. Once you pass this. So there you've got your Limerick curve. Limerick Direct Curve, it's called. Yeah. Yeah, that's at green. The signal, yeah, so that one shows an amber, but by the time you get around the corner, it's already after clearing. That's a 7 car service from Tralee. It's a very busy service. I've been on it. Leaving Clarny, it's full, nearly standing room only, and that's a 7 car. You can't get any bigger to go down the Kerry Road safely. Yeah, we've got a gradient there. I'll just check. Is it 11 o'clock? 11:50. Sorry. Yeah, it gets to Clarny about 20 past 12, half 12ish. Super busy train. Everyone going back to Dublin after their Saturday night in Clarny or Cork. It's packed. I was on it last March. Definitely get in the one that's in front of Clarny, because most people will just stay at the back and get in the back 3 car or 4 car, whichever way the set lines up. Go to the top. You'll get a seat there quickly enough at the front of the train. But to be fair, the staff on the train, or not on the train, the platform staff were telling people to move up. It'd be easier to find a space. Before the train left, we were waiting for the driver to change ends, and he was telling people to come off the back unit, and then go up the front. So fair dues to staff member that was on that day. Get some nice engine sounds. So the next train we should see around Charleville, it's the 13:25. And I'm after gaining another minute magically again. I believe at this pace we will be, because the real time we got in was 15:14, I believe. So we should be okay to not have to slow down towards Cork Tunnel. And we notch off. The only thing I wish is that the signaling worked properly, but not everything in life's perfect. It's pretty damn good. I hope that you guys think it's as good as I do. I don't know where I was going with that sentence. I hope you guys can appreciate it and enjoy it as much as I do yourselves, if you plan on downloading it and getting it. If you're just here to watch, have fun. I'll keep showing these off, keep releasing them, and hopefully at the end of the day Brendan just will see his work is appreciated and make more for us, I guess. I do believe the picture he showed of the Dublin to Belfast line, that there is an enterprise set currently made. I would love to get my hands on that to put it in the Rosslare line, but I'll have to wait for it to come out. I'm not going to force the man into giving me shit. I also guess these seats kind of are a little bit like the Arrow moquette, which is still there. I'm surprised they've never changed to moquette on the trains. That was just an unintentional thing that the Arrow was on the seat covers. I picked it for the black and orange. I didn't know about that until I got in here. Level crossing. Sometimes it's nicer just to come sit there. You just see the game in a way you wouldn't normally see the game. I wonder who's found that button. Thank you for the likes and hearts and whatnot. Appreciate it, bud. We go back into the cab for a while. Go back into the passenger view going past Charleville, I suppose. Now, this train does... Its top speed, design speed is 75 miles per hour, but you can get it up to 82 just by leathering it. You will get to Cork at half two, way too early. It's so if you do that and get blocked outside Cork, it ain't my problem. Yes, I put it in the briefing, 70 mile per hour. And then people will be crying it wasn't non-stop, even though you went too fast for the book timing. So, just don't come crying back to me about that. But the scenario doesn't get broken. I still tested it. If you do that, you'll be fine. And I streamed it on YouTube as well, just to make it easy for everyone, because I don't know if everyone has Twitch accounts or even knows about Twitch or any other streaming websites. So that's why I'm doing it on YouTube, just to make it easy for everyone. Nearly everyone has a YouTube account these days. Nice. Just not you mentioning it. Questions should be asked for the next one. Better start planning that now. Probably I'll be very busy over Christmas with work and stuff, so I would say maybe first or second week of January I'll probably be able to do the next one. Because obviously I have to make it as well. It's not just a case of me picking it up and playing. And test it. But I'll definitely let people know in the past and present group, because that one doesn't seem to me mind me posting YouTube links. The other group was fine with pictures, but didn't like me posting links to YouTube, so that will be my main communication point. At least until I know if enough people are coming and watching, then I can make a new group and just announce stuff on there. We'll see how many people get sick of me first. I'll just hit them with the I know the admins. And that seems to be the 12:25, 13:25. There's an audible click when you're a certain distance away from the train in train sim, I've noticed. It's like very, very noticeable click. Don't know what causes that. Is it just like a feature or something? Manual level crossing again. It amazes me that there's like automatic barrier crossings, and then there's just out in the main line still manual level crossings. And the next one could be like an automatic one. Well, that's a user worked crossing. It's never mind. Just have all three types. Looks like we could be coming in Charleville soon, judging by the houses. Yeah, there's Charleville. it's after this bridge. Ah, missing texture. Or maybe it's that bridge. I could be talking shit. Old station, could be Bodevent, I'm not too sure. I think Bodevent is after Charleville. I'm gonna get shouted at for that, I know. Really need to brush up on my history. Some people were screaming at me internally. My plan probably will be to try and alternate between the two routes, just because this one especially there's so much more to show off with the Kerry line, the Limerick line, the Nina line. Whereas the Rosslare has the Rosslare part of it, and then it has the dirt lines as far as Holt and Malahide, which again is different scenarios and whatnot, but what I'm really trying to say is I'm spoiled for choice of what I can show off, just showing off the routes themselves and the parts. And then I'll make more intensive scenarios, I guess is what I'm trying to say, where you'll be coupling together and, you know, empty trains into in-service trains and whatnot. That is as I'm learning how to make scenarios too, because this is a process for me also. And it's quite easy to do something with an AI train and break the whole scenario, from what I've read and from what I've understood. That one was an automatic barrier. Kilmallock, thank you, Mr. Blackwater. While I was thinking of that, should have probably one person who can deal with bullshit if it happens. Give you powers. I've never heard of Kilmallock in my life. And it could have been said at the last meeting I was at. I still went over my head, probably. Huge gradient as well coming up to Charleville. Yeah, that's Charleville. Stop there on the surely not Railtour. some nice coasting, and then back on some easy power. You'll do a fly past for Mallow. I'll get out and show you the incredible Mallow station, which is as realistic as it can be. There's great work on it, Mallow Station. It looks fantastic. Sometimes I daydream about Cork Limerick Direct, yeah. I just don't think it'll ever happen because they just have the junction service is just it's like Cork to Tralee. There's only like 2 in the morning and 2 in the evening that are direct Cork to Tralee. Yeah, I know, Darman, that you mean via the junction. I'm just saying the way they work it with the Limerick trains going to the junction and then going off to Ennis, it's just they're never going to stray away from that model. Alright, so this one's yellow, so the next one I think is another permanent ride. Where the 2 level crossings are. Yeah, the next signal's at red. Again, nothing I can do about it. Just have to tab and get permission for the SPAD. Be careful with asking for permission too early though, because it can expire after like 2 minutes. That's something I found out in the process of making these. This. Yeah, it's the same with like Mallow, which I guess is Tralee Junction in a way, if you want to call it that. I know it's not, but it's just, it makes more sense to have the Cork train feed into Mallow and then feed into Limerick Junction. It's just, instead of more direct trains and more fuel being used running longer trains and whatnot. You just have the shuttle services essentially. Except like there is one oddity, alright, it's the first direct Limerick train out of Limerick. It stops at Limerick Junction. And all the other Limerick direct trains don't for the rest of the day. Oh, it connects off the Tipperary line, that's why. I've just figured it out. No, wait, no. I think it connects off the Tipperary line. Unless, no, wait, no. No, it doesn't. I don't know. I'm trying to think how that diagram is. I think it goes out to Waterford, then back to Limerick Junction in the morning. And if it does that, then it doesn't connect with that. Unless it connects with people coming from Limerick to go to Waterford. It's something along that lines. I think that's why. That must be why that Limerick train in particular stops at the junction. But the rest of them go by the direct curve. You actually have the set being turned around. Maybe that way. Unless they turn it the day before. I don't know, I'll have to look into that. I'm just rambling at this stage about it. Thinking out loud. And I don't think you all want to hear me rambling and thinking out loud. If 40 miles to Cork? Well, actually 30 miles to Cork. Less than an hour left in the scenario. That was just another random old platform that I haven't seen before because I've... Admittedly, when I was testing it, I was watching TV and whatnot for the 3 hours because doing this over and over again and only paying attention to that isn't... it gets in your head the 6th time you're testing it in a week. So yeah, all we've left to pass now is the 1425 and the 1450. And then 2 trains on the Cork suburban lines, so... We have the 1445 out of Middleton and the 1500 out of Cove, I believe. Yes, it has to be the 1500 out of Cove, and then Cove doesn't get another service train until 4:30. Well, they do now, but they get one at 4 now. But on that day when we arrived, there wasn't another train for like an hour or something. And I mean, there was like 15 or so passengers waiting. I think the next signal I come across is red as well. It does feel a long way off. I don't think the section is this big in real life. But again, it's not a perfect representation. It's brilliant though. I'll have to look into that later. I also made you a moderator because I probably should have one just in case something crazy kicks off. The lovely sprinter brake rub sound. It's love listening to it. We were on the sprinters in July when I was in the UK. I was on the 150s dash 2s in GWR, Plymouth and whatnot. They were fantastic. Really great sounding engines. We should be around the corner from Mallow. Here, coming down by the hospital. Sadly, the hospital is not included, but here we have Mallow. And Mallow is nearly as authentic as you could be, even down to the station buildings and everything. I knew I was gonna like lose time, or not lose time, but end up with a bit of an overspeed. I think I probably should have tabbed that one as well, because that's usually red, but oh well. And Mallow South Cabin, as it used to be. We'll just ignore the SPAD if it shows up in the end. I believe that's the River Blackwater. Could be wrong. Could be the other river, but I'm pretty sure that's the Blackwater. And you have the Kerry line down there. Ignore the floating signals. Don't know what texture I'm missing. It was for like just a slight moment. If I can go back. Yeah, it's a small bit of floating line, but that's the only place where it actually happens. Indeed, Sergeant Salt. I'm just going to hold off at about 65 just to make sure I don't end up early. Too much. as I was saying earlier, like it is easy just to you gain like 5 minutes just from doing the route alone, not by necessarily gaining time. Easy to gain time though when you are non-stop. If I can run the ETA back to about 15-18, we should be all good again. Of course, you have the steep climbs up to Cork and out of Cork where the 70 limit is in effect. Usually for like the climbs and the curves. I believe on the day as well, we did brake and slow down a little bit, like I'm doing now, just to give us extra time. It was more coming back down the hills after the summit here. Just running into Cork. Didn't want to get blocked by that 1454 piece. Basically got 15 minutes to that train departs. Now we're going to start getting speed, I would imagine. Unless the gradient isn't that steep on the way back down. Looks steep, but There's the train clicking noise we seem to get whenever train is coming. So that was the 12:25, 14:25 even. There's not much ICRs on the Sunday. Turns you usually have. Actually, I think then was Mark 4s. Now it's an ICR, I believe. Or else I've just done it wrong and put a Mark 4 when it should be an ICR. That could have happened too. Now that I think of it. I'm after gaining that time. I thought I was after knocking off. Should be okay though. I don't think I'll get to the tunnel within 10 minutes. Also seems a bit floaty here, kind of, if you don't zoom in. It's definitely great to have it though, honestly. Like, I'd rather it be shit and in the game than not existent at all. But it's not. It is fantastic. I will say, looking at it now though, the quality down here isn't as in depth as it was at the start. It's a bit more open and bland down here. And we're back gaining speed. Yeah, was it 42 now? I think we should be fine. I don't think we'll run into too much problems. Probably bring it back up to 65 now. Driving 2 hours 20 minutes now. That's a shame that that's missing. That's the most noticeable one so far. Yeah, this is the approach to Cork, so just going to bring the speed down slightly. I think it's something to do with the layout of the way Cork has the avoiding line throughout platform, behind platform 4 and 5, and maybe if the signalling needed a signal, but there should be call-on signals inside Cork Tunnel. It's actually not a call-on signal. It's a red it's a feathered signal, which is also permanently displaying red. And that should be a call-on signal in real life. So yeah, it's just the actual stopping point outside of the tunnel is the signal outside the tunnel, outside of Blackpool, where there is a 30 at. You wouldn't be able to put a mainline train onto a passenger train onto the line, as it's only a shunt signal inside the tunnel. Yes. As I said, just need a tiny bit of timing control, which we also did in real life. I think by the time we get down to that signal, we should be good though. Give us a change of view. See the other side of his little lovely cab. All we needed is to clear platform 5 anyway, because with building platform 6 at Cork, they had to take out the avoiding line, or the avoiding line is still there for the shed, but it doesn't connect back up to the other side of platform 5 anymore, because that's where they had to build a new platform, so there's no crossing there yet. So that's why this specific rail tour, being non-stop, relied on that 1450 coming out. I think we're okay here to get back to line speed too. So that 1450 comes out as soon as it crosses the tunnel points. We're good to be let in. It's a 160 slope coming out of Cork. Up Kilbarry. She is picking up speed. Oh, and there's this as well. Don't want to break the route by trying to fix that, so we'll just leave that as it is. Yeah, I just need to waste off a minute here coming around by Blackpool. And it's this signal that's at yellow. That's where you're normally held outside Cork. You have Blackpool Shopping Centre car park, I believe. Yeah, I think that's the car park, and then that's the shopping centre on the other side of it. Yeah, it is. I'm right. Yeah, that's the shopping centre. That's the car park. This is something I should know. I think I cut this as finely as I could have. That should definitely be off the points now. Oh yeah, also that bus goes through there, and I seem to get the bus there every time I'm here. Now, there's no more speed signs, but yeah, I've got the route. Across the crossing in the tunnel is 25. And then it's 15 through the platform. It just doesn't say it for any reason. I don't know. Forgot to add it in, maybe. And these are the 28s, which are based on a class 158 on the inside. The cab is a 158. But the outside is basically a 28. And that makes the 1450 surface to Tralee directly. Again, this fella is not there in real life. Just make sure we get the permission to go through it. And the feather on it doesn't work either. I don't believe I haven't seen a change. So, forgot to go on 25 and it's 15 into the platform. Which also isn't announced. It just happens. So that's the 12 o'clock set, which makes the 15:25. That's the same train that left Houston before us. I ran it all the way down. And I believe it was 229 on the front. We've got 28, well 26s, but 28 on platform 3. You've got your spare set, your spare loco, which was actually 225 or something, maybe not. I don't know if I went back and changed that number. And then I've also got it says 228, yeah. And I've got some 27s withdrawn in there. And those of you who know that one of my testing attempts I got down there and got thrown into the upline to Cork. From go over the upline, I was devastated. Yeah, you got the siding there and Cork train shed and all the bay platforms with their like half canopies. And now we're on the Cork commuter belt. So our actual arrival time in real life was like 15:14, I think, roughly. So we'll see if we can get close to that. I have the old Myrtle Hill level crossing there. And I can't quite remember the name of this. There was also a second level crossing here, but that was replaced with that bridge. And unfortunately do not have Parky Cleave Stadium, but you have a lot of like industrial stuff down around here. Down Tivoli, there's like you have the car shops, and there's like a Caterpillar, or not a Caterpillar, like a tractor selling Caterpillars and JCBs and stuff down around this area. You have your Arrivia buses that are in red instead of green. That's just a train sim thing. This road on the left here that leads out to the M8, the entrance. We have all the cars. This is where all the new cars come into Cork before they're sent to the dealerships and sold. Now we have the old little island here as. Oh, we're still a bit away from now. We've North Desk as well. Thank God that doesn't show up on my screen. You just seen you log onto it. Train sim. We've got North Container Terminal, which of course used to have freight, but was disconnected, and the cranes are even gone now. We have another 28, which should be a 26, but you know, we digress. So this old footbridge is now taken out of use, and there's a brand new footbridge and entrance built around here. And you have the old red and white signs on the Dublin to Rosslare route. The new one, it's the blue signs, so it's all up to date. I've been on the wrong platform for most of these. I forget it's an odd name, yeah. So that bridge goes over the station. That's the main road bridge into Little Island, and on the other side of it there's the motorway. So that bridge connects the rural road into the motorway and Little Island itself, the industrial estates. You forget it's an odd name, yeah. That's why I capture game capture or not. I haven't actually. I should probably do that sometime. So yeah, that's the main motorway over there that goes through Little Island. The water here at Clonton can be beautiful when the tide is high, but when it's low it looks like muddy slime muck like. Also, I'm gonna get flagged for speeding here because the crossover, the 35 and the 20 coming like from the other side, they come in here and it's just gonna hit me with speeding, because that line is 35 going out to Middleton and that line is 20, and it shouldn't flag but it does. During the summer, if you have a really good day, I would highly suggest going to Glondon and taking some pictures. It looks stunning when the sun is out and the tide is high. So we're passing under the motorway here going into... Yes, Salt I am. Going under the motorway here. Again. Munster area, Irish Railway Record Society. Yeah, Middleton's getting doubled by BAM. So, not included in this route for whatever reason is it comes down to 40 around here. Then we're 25 over the bridge, and I've already messed that up. Again, I'm not sure, did he just mean to come back to this and then didn't come back to it and finish it, or is it a case of not knowing? But it's 25 through the bridges and 10 through platforms at Foda, which starts at the old platform, which he didn't put in the old platform either, which is like where these bushes are. But like, my complaints are so minor about everything else. The fact I could make up rail tours, do like Middleton to Cove to Tralee to Limerick. Do you know, it's just having everything is like the main thing. So this is Foda Island. There's a wildlife park entrance there where the road was. That train I've timed wrong, and it shouldn't be at Foda, that Cove by this time, but Foda. Shouldn't really be at Foda at this time. I got everything working, forgot to change the time and that to make it move, and you know, it's just chilling. Yeah, too bad about y'all, I know, but Greenways, man, the Green Party just wanted Greenways, and there you go. There was a good case for y'all, and the way Middleton blew up, we could have made it down to y'all, and the trains be just as busy. And then you get the 29s coming down. You've got 4 cars to all. Perfect. There's that good Cummins engine. Kick up and hum. So just to the left here now, it's not really filled in much on this, but this is protected by gates and it's fully concreted. This is the old Merino Point where the ammonia trains used to come from before going up to Dublin and going down the Rosslare line, I believe. I think that's where the other destination was. So yeah, that's Merino Point. You had all the ammonia trains with the 201s and everything in there. And the tracks aren't there anymore, but you can definitely kind of see that there used to be a track bed there, and there's kind of like stands every now and then, poles. It isn't what it used to be, but you can tell there was something connected to the railway in there still, very obviously. So there's Carriglow Station. Cove Line is very nice and scenic anyway because you're near the water for like the majority of it. Definitely the better looking line between that and the Middleton line. Middleton's just like all kind of through clearings and covered. Rushbrook Station. Both Carriglow and Rushbrook, they're both staggered platforms. Made for some interesting running across of platforms for photos on the return. And here we're downhill all the way in the cove. So I just gotta... That bridge used to be a really famous spot for the fly tipping and dumping. Or not that one, this one, sorry. So you'd often find like shit in the bottom of the tracks. You've Haulbowline Island over here, which is a navy base, and the cruise ships pull up in here and unload usually. You've Old Cove Signal Cabin. This is Cove Train Shed, which is now a Garda Station car park, but that used to be the train shed. And this bridge is only new in about the last 10 years or so, but it's kind of meshy. It's not that great for taking photographs. And of course, you used to have 3 platforms here in Cove, I think. Definitely 2 at one stage anyway, but of course that was given over to the harbour, and there was a run around, a hedge hunt, but they took that out. Also, all up here is platform as well, I think. The platform in Cove is like super long, and only half of it is kind of been modernised. Of course, you got the Heritage Centre, where a train once, a 141, I think. Or else it was a 181. I really should know that number. And here we are non-stop. I made it 2 minutes sooner than... Oh, really? And also, there's missing the, like, stairs up. But here we are, guys. A lot of driving done. And I'll be happy to stretch my legs as much as Ken was, I'd say, in a few moments. Now, as you can see, I've got it pinned the message, where to get this, route, and the Rosslare route. Just read all the readmes that come with the files because they are important, and it is a very specific order that needs to be installed. The initial time was 2 hours 55 minutes and 49 seconds. That was timed by Midland Deltic. And take a well-earned break until the final leg of this journey back to Cork. So we were booked out at, I think it was 15:27, 37 maybe. Now I will release a version with the AP156 if people have that, and I will change a version to the normal 2800 that comes with it if people want this. But I'll put it up online anyway. I'll Google Drive, I'll post it in the past and present group. Any questions for anyone before we go? And thank you all for joining me, whoever has been here for a while or the whole time. Much appreciated. It's been fun, and I wanted to show this off, and Brendan has done absolutely fantastic work. And I will continue to show off his work because we needed this in Trainsome. And it has been there for a long time, and people haven't known about it, and there's been updates that people didn't know about. And I just want more people playing it and give Brendan a reason to make Belfast to Dublin and to continue doing the work he does, you know. Thank you very much, Salt. So, if nobody has any questions, I'm going to go take a walk for a few minutes and get my legs alive again. Yeah, I guess not. Nobody is typing anything as of yet. So I'll catch you in the next one, guys. Thank you very